Now we're live. Yo, what up? What up? What up? This is the check-in. I am your boy Heat Detector.
I am your boy Jizzo, and today we have a special guest that's joining us for the check-in. Introduce yourself.
Annabelle here.
Annabelle.
Let's go.
Thank you for being here, Annabelle. Um, tonight's show, we're going to be talking about emotional availability. I think this shit is going to be maybe a little touchy at moments, but we're going to get through it. You want to give them the old...
Yeah, I'll
One,
give
two,
him.
three.
I'll give him the old spiel. So, we are not licensed therapists. We are not licensed psychologists. So, what this show is a couple of homies. How y'all see us here talking about issues that affect us. And normally, historically, this show has been about men's mental health. And in the last year, we have developed into understanding that we need everybody's mental health mentioned in these situations, including men's mental health. So things that are affecting us, things that are affecting me, all of that, all of us. We talk about that, and you're gonna hear things that you don't want to hear. So please don't sue us. Like I said, we're not licensed therapists or psychologists. And
If your ass dreams about bunny rabbits and unicorns and you got cotton candy for ears, this shit ain't for you. Okay? If you get mad about hearing something like gay or fag or trans or tranny or fuck I mean, I don't know, any kind of thing, because anything can be said. This is not for you, because we speak with real transparency on this show, and we don't do it to down anybody. We love everybody, everyone. So if you don't like it, just change the channel. You don't have to report us. You don't have to get into your feelings. You don't have to do any of that. Just change the channel. That's it.
Can
What's up?
can I start off this show with explaining what we mean when we say emotionally unavailable?
Yeah, but next time let me finish what I got to say. But yeah, of course.
No, you finished what you had to say.
I didn't. But go ahead.
Okay. That's subjective, but emotionally unavailable people are unable or unwilling to share their feelings or manage their emotional aspects of a relationship. They may also have difficulty being present and responsive to others' emotions. So emotionally unavailable. Before we get into anything else, I want to go ahead and let y'all know that if you text message 988 or if you call 988, that is a crisis lifeline. If you are going through something, if something is affecting you in life and you feel like you are at your wit's end, please call or please text message 988. It's 3 numbers. It's very easy, and somebody will reach out to you. And full transparency, I've been one of those people in the past. I've messaged 988 and I've actually spoke to somebody, and it got me through a moment that I was going through in life many years ago. So it's something that's important. You're not too good for it. There's no shame in it. You call that number, you text, you call 988, and you get it done.
That's what's up.
Heat detector.
Well, hold on real quick, because I think you touched on something really important here. No, it's not no one's judging you for calling a number. It's not a bad thing for you to call a number. It's not a bad thing to reach out and get help, because everybody on this planet is either going through something or have been through something. And I say it all the time. You tell me, you show me the man that has like the perfect life or doesn't have troubles, and I will tell you and show you a fucking liar, because we all have shit. We all do. And we all go through shit. And if you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to, what was the number again, bro?
The number is 988. It's only 3 numbers. Yeah. It's 988. And you can text message that number. You can just literally go on your phone, select it as a contact, 988, send the text message, and somebody's going to respond, dog. And when I was in that situation, and we're talking about 14 years ago, I remember calling that number, and I was in a situation I needed somebody to talk to, dog. I felt like I was in a situation in another state. I didn't have none of my friends, and I had no one to talk to. And I text that number, and that number texted me back, and I ended up getting on the phone with somebody that told me like it was okay. Like everything I was going through was all right. I was gonna get through it. Tomorrow was gonna be another day. So if for any reason you're feeling like that, please text that number.
Yeah.
We definitely care about you. You could just message us right now on the show. You could send a message in the comments. and we will read it. We will interact with you, dog. You could talk to us. That's what the
Yeah.
check-in is for.
Yeah.
His,
Hence the word check-in.
historically, for those that don't know, and we've said this every couple of shows, but historically, for those that don't know, this show used to be called Sunday Sit Down with the OGs.
Facts.
And I was one of the OGs along with Heat Detector, along with Overton Harris, and we used to just talk about what was
Hip-hop.
affecting us.
No, that's not, dude. No, the Sunday Sit Down with the
relax,
OGs.
man. We're
no,
just
I
talking.
am relaxed. I am relaxed. What are you talking? Don't start that. I am relaxed. Sunday Sit Down was originally for bridging the gap between elder statesmen in hip hop and younger statesmen. What happened was when I was having that fucked up ass day, me, you, and OT was talking before the show, the 30 minutes before the show, and then that shit spilled over into the show. And it ended up, the next day I called you and I was like, no, man, we're going to call this shit the check-in. And it's been the check-in ever since.
And to catapult off of that, being emotionally available has been something that's been important to us in all of our conversations and all of our interactions with our OGs. When I talk to you, on the phone, we are emotionally available. Pause. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I tell you what's up, dog. You tell me what's up. I know what's up in your life. Like we have that connection, and people know that on the show. That and there's a lot of times where we clash heads. Today's topic, and I want to let you let them know what that topic is today. We're gonna talk about something important, and I want everybody to give their 2 cents on it. But let them know what the topic is.
Thanks for that. Well, I said what it was in the beginning of the show. It's emotional availability. But before we do even that, you know what I'm saying? I want to thank you, Annabelle, for being here on the show. And, we haven't shared anything yet, but, I want to thank you for being open to share, your thoughts, your feelings, and everything on the show tonight. You know what I'm saying? But the show is about being emotionally available. You know what I mean? If you are emotionally available, if you've ever felt that you were emotionally available or not available to someone, what that may mean to you, what it may mean to the person that you're emotionally unavailable to, because that shit on some real shit hurts.
Let's ask a real time question. Are you currently, Annabelle, emotionally available?
Yes.
Yes.
Why do you hesitate on that? Why is there a hesitation on are you emotionally available?
Well, right now I am on a healing journey, so I'm conscious of that I'm healing. It's been about actually 2 years. So it's been a long journey, but it was a traumatic experience.
Right.
And I'm aware that I can't be like not to say stuck in the past, but I gotta move forward, right? So you gotta take steps to move forward, and so I mean, I feel like I am available, but there's things that come with it, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I think you just need to communicate with whoever you're talking to and just be honest.
Emotional availability is not just with like a significant other, because it could, just like Jizzo had said earlier, it could be with your best friend, your homie, and it could be with your brother, your sister, it could be with your mom, it could be with anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily have to be a significant other, because as people, sometimes we shut the fuck down, you know what I mean? And because we shut down, we end up hurting those people, that are emotionally available to us, you know what I'm saying? And being aware of being emotionally available is tough, because sometimes we do shit and we don't even realize that we're not available. We're not being there in the moment. And I think the key to that is like being in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Not dwelling on shit. And because, we're not promised tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I have a thing that I say is that you can't hold the past hostage, and you can't try and kidnap the future. It's an impossibility. You can't do it, because if you do try to do either one of those things or both of them at the same time, you're fucked.
Right.
The only thing you can do is be better the next day. The only thing you can do is move forward the next day, each day.
Healthline.com says that being emotionally unavailable describes the inability to sustain emotional bonds in relationships. Since it's difficult to have a healthy relationship without an emotional connection, such people tend to find relationships challenging. Um, Going through what you've been through, we just did Trash Tales earlier. Shout out to Trash Tales podcast, but we just did that, and a lot of those involve situations that you were in personally. Do you find yourself, and I know I just asked you and you said you were available, but based off of those situations, do you find yourself with any remnants or long lasting effects of those relationships in your new situations?
That's
Baggage.
tough.
You got baggage?
Do you have baggage? Yeah, that's
Do
I
I have
guess. Yeah, you cut
baggage?
it short.
No, I don't think I do, but I think I've done a lot of self work to know that I really got to put that to the side. Or, when you meet somebody, you obviously have those long conversations, but you can move past that. Like, you can move forward. Baggage though, like trust issues, you mean?
It could be
Like, yeah,
anything.
anything. It could be anything.
Childhood trauma.
Any
Shit.
kind of baggage. Like,
Baggage is baggage.
well, we've talked about childhood trauma in this show and how
It most definitely affects relationships. 100%.
but
100%.
so that's a different thing for her to look at, besides answering that question, because it becomes a deeper question. It doesn't just become like, how is she affected by her exes? It's also, how is she affected by her mom, her dad, her brothers, sisters,
What
whoever,
she's seen in
what she's seen, what she grew up with.
what
Yeah,
she saw, how
a lot of
that
this.
affected. Yeah.
A lot of that matters.
So if a guy that's gonna, let's just say, attempt to talk to you, you won't even relate. Will you relate to him if he hasn't been through those things? Like, is it, like, what? Not what do you look for, but like, is it hard to relate to someone that kind of hasn't been through some of them things you've been
Oh,
through?
definitely. It is hard. Sometimes, I do meet some guys that I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it seems like he got the silver spoon, and like, just compared to what I've been through, which could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. It's hard to really say, honestly. I haven't really been in the dating pool. So that's another tough one for me. I was in a relationship for like half my life, to be honest. I've never really been in any other relationship that's been serious. So some of those questions are kind of hard to answer,
It sounds like
'cause
you're
it's like,
emotionally unavailable.
Do I have baggage? Well, I really wouldn't know, because I haven't really experienced another relationship.
Right.
Oh shit.
But I mean,
Yeah.
typically, if you've been in a relationship that long, I don't know how serious your relationship was, but typically speaking, if it's been over some years, you guys live together and shit, there's behaviors that you learned in coping with that relationship. All relationships have problems, so you learn coping skills. And a lot of those coping skills are from when you were a child and how you cope and deal with them, which is also to the emotional unavailability. Because a lot of times we don't know that we're emotionally unavailable. We do things because there's a coping mechanism. There's a thing called survivor's mentality. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you have lived a life and where there was a constant pressure of certain shit, or like I say, like within my life, there was a real propensity for violence all the time. So that type of mentality of always, okay, I got to be in protect mode. I've got to be in this kind of mode. I've got to be in this. The survivor's mentality is always in there. Like, but no matter what, that survivor's mentality is really, I'm doing shit because this is how I cope and this is how I survive that situation. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and part of that is checking out emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Gizzo's come here. It's like literally Gizzo could call me, and how I answer the phone, he automatically knows that I'm pissed off or I'm mad about something, and I'll be thinking I'm answering the phone like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I'm really like, "Yo, what the fuck?" You know what I mean? Like we don't even know that we're actually doing that shit. You know what I mean? But because in those moments, I'm really checked the fuck out, and I don't want to talk, and I really do, But we end up talking and everything, and that's part of the journey and part of the growth, and and understanding and using the tools, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, to like get through shit.
I could say, like, a couple years back, there's been times in my life where, and reflecting on it now, like, I know I was a shitty person
Right.
to people. Like, I know that I was letting out my anger and sadness, whatever I was going through, and not even towards like just friends, even
Right.
friends, and like even just random people. I was a shitty person. I'm not gonna lie, and it took some time, like some reflection. I probably saw some memes that like made me take a step back and like look at myself like, hold up, I shouldn't be treating people any kind of way just because I'm going through something. So I do remember like when I saw that about myself, I'm like, okay, and I did start to change for sure. At least like not treating people like rude, not being malicious, but just rude. I definitely was rude to people.
Well, you weren't available. You weren't emotionally available. Like when we do that, typically, I'm just saying. And really, let me just be clear. I'm only speaking from me right now, so I'm not saying that that's how you are, whatever, or Jizzle, or it's ill for real. But like a lot of times, if I'm checked the fuck out, I'm just not paying attention to you because you're not in my bubble right now, and I don't want anybody in my bubble. So it may be construed as being rude or whatever, but really, again, back to the survivor mode. You know what I'm saying? And feeling like, man, I got to protect myself right now, and that even means, man, because emotionally we are all fucked up, all of us. You know what I'm saying? We're all fucked up, and that inner child is always screaming for help. You know what I mean? And we inadvertently are always protecting that inner child as adults. You know what I'm saying? Because of whatever hurt we've been through, whatever pain we've been through, whatever trauma we've been through in our lives, we're really protecting that child. We don't want that shit to happen anymore. And so we check out a lot about different shit, and we make ourselves emotionally unavailable. We do a lot of different shit, but really we're protecting that inner child. I went through a lot of shit in my life with my mom and family and just life in general, you know, a lot of crazy fucked up shit. And as an adult, I'm always scared and worried that somebody's gonna do something to me. You know what I mean? Emotionally fuck with me. You know what I mean? Mentally fuck with me. You know what I mean? And it's hard because then I'll check out like a motherfucker.
So
like,
that's why you make yourself emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
Because of those situations.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Who suffers in a situation like that?
Everybody.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying everybody. We're talking about everybody.
Yeah, I just said everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. The person, that's why I said earlier, the person that you're being unavailable to is really maybe trying to help you, maybe just trying to, I don't know, maybe like maybe even get to know you or maybe be whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just hypothetically speaking. You know, maybe just trying to get to know you, maybe trying to be whatever, but sometimes like I've met people real quick. I've met people at times where they're just like standoffish because and their thing is like, well, I don't want to meet new people. Well, it's really deeper than that. You know what I mean? The deeper issue is like because of new people, and again, speaking hypothetically, maybe a new person came into their house and molested them and did something, and you know what I mean? So the inner child he's really protecting that inner child by like saying, I'm not talking to motherfuckers. I'm not going to relate to motherfuckers. I'm going to say I just hate people or I don't because they don't want to get emotionally involved. They don't want to attach to something because of the fear of getting hurt. They're going to be abused physically, mentally, or whatever the fuck the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, yeah, we're all, and the person that you're checking out with is going to get hurt in that process. Yeah. Especially if you're in a relationship. If you're if I check out on your ass right now, no, wait, hold on. If I check out on your ass right now, Jizzle, it would fuck with you. If you checked out on me right now, like, and just was on some, man, fuck that. I just don't want to talk to this motherfucker.
It has fucked with me.
Yeah, I'm saying.
You have checked out, and it has like physically, like emotionally fucked with me.
Yeah, and I don't intentionally do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't intentionally do it. But at particular times when things are happening and shit's going on, and I'll check the fuck all the way out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's actually something that I do now too. Like, or sometimes when I catch myself that I'm in some type of mood, I'd rather just not talk to you because I'm gonna hurt you. Like, and then it's gonna come off the wrong way.
So what should somebody do in that situation? Let's say a friend of yours that's your friend and you talk to him like 2-3 times a day or something like that, like through text message, and you're in a checkout emotional state, like you're checked the fuck out. What should someone like that do to like link with you, to connect with you, to help you in any way? Like, is there any way to help you in that situation?
The person going through it or the other person?
You specifically, you're going through it, you're checked out right now. What does someone that's your friend do to connect with you in that situation? You're checked out, but your friend still cares about you and they're attempting to like help you in some way, but you're checked out, like you're checked the fuck out.
Yeah.
What can someone do in that situation to help you?
I don't know, just show up, I guess. Like, just send me a quick text, tell me like, hey, like I know you're going through it. It's hard to say
Yeah,
because everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are gonna want you to like go and, hey, let's go out, let's do this, let's do that. Like, it really just depends on the person.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, just give me my time and then I'll come around. Like, I thank you, I know you're there. If it were the other way around, I would tell the person like, hey, I'm just, even if they don't respond to me, like I got some people that they're going through it, and I'll just be like, hey, good morning, like how are you? If they don't respond, like I don't take it no wrong way. People need their space.
Yeah.
And then it's always good. You will never go wrong telling somebody, I'm there for you. Like, hey, hey, good, how are you? If you need to talk, just know I'm here, hit me up. I know you, like, anything helps. It doesn't matter how cold of a person you are. If somebody sends you a message and they're telling you like, hey, just checking in on you, like, and you don't respond, like it still matters.
As Microphone Misfits just said, you gotta
Let's get
give
that comment
space,
back up there.
give space, and eat the cost. And with that being said, this is what I was going to say when you pose that question. I think it's a valid question, but at the same time, it is not up to that other person.
Right.
It isn't, because if I'm checked out, I'm checked out. I make the choice to either speak to you or not speak to you. And so that means, like, when you have called me, Jizzle, and I'm checked the fuck out, in that moment, I'm just real quick.
Yeah.
In that moment, I am literally going through, because I'm on this whatever journey that I'm on. In that moment, I've gotten to a space where I can say, wait a minute, you're bugging out on the wrong person. You're doing whatever. Take a breath, George. Or all you got to do is just say, hey man, call me back later or whatever. I've gotten to a point to where I can say that kind of shit. But if a person is checked out and they're checked out, the other motherfucker can't do shit to change their mind. There's nothing you can do physically, mentally, emotionally, or nothing to change my mind if I'm checked the fuck out. If I don't want to
That's not true.
Okay.
Can I tell you how that's not true?
Go ahead.
Because you were going through it, and I
made the choice, though.
I came to you.
Again, bro, you came to me, but again, you didn't hear what I just said? I'm processing the shit myself. And I choose if I want to speak to you and get involved in this conversation.
What happened that night?
Let me finish. And it should explain to you, because I just explained that right prior to you saying that. If a person is going through something, and truth be told about that situation, I was in a horrible space. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't even want to fucking talk to you.
I know.
You showing up wasn't the grandiose fucking thing. You showing up, actually, I was sitting and thinking as you were talking to me, because I really wanted to tell you to shut the fuck up and leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
But as that's happening, there's a part of my brain, because we had already been going through this whole process with the check-in. And so I'm already using tools, learning from this stuff. So as you're talking to me, I'm learning and using and processing. And because I don't want to be a dick to you, because I value you and I value your friendship, I make the choice to say, you know what?
But what did I say to you? I said,
bro.
no, hold on. I said, don't throw away everything that we're working on.
None of that matters.
It does matter.
Okay, it matters for you.
If you're saying that doesn't matter, then it don't matter for nobody.
No, listen, you're not listening. That is the problem.
That's what I'm saying. No, it does matter.
No, okay, it matters. Okay, fine, it matters.
100%.
It matters, all right? But what you're missing is, I make the choice to talk to you or not. I make the choice to open up to you or not.
You could have not made that choice if I wasn't there.
I could have made that. Man, what the fuck are you kidding me? A house full of fucking people. I didn't want to talk to nobody. It wasn't that you were the God Sam. Listen, bro, I love you, bro. I love you to death. I promise you. But anytime...
You're pushing away the goodness of it.
I'm not pushing away... No, bro, first of all, my experience is my experience, not yours. My experience... Now listen what I said. My experience, my truth is mine. It's not yours. You don't own that.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so if I tell you something right now about how I felt in that moment, you have to know that that's my truth. That's me in that moment. Just like every fucking day, or whatever day that I'm going through something, because I'm learning this journey and I'm learning this process, I personally am processing information as it comes in, and I tell myself, chill.
Mm-hmm.
then I'll talk. Let me process this shit. You can't force me to process it. I'm glad you showed up.
Then you don't need no help. That's what you're saying. You don't need no help.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No. So he's basically saying, like, if he's going through something and he don't want to talk about it right now, you should just give him space. He's going to come back around. You just got to give him space because right now he's still processing it. Yeah. So how can he talk to you about, or anyone else in the matter of fact, about something that he's still processing? And I could say that because, like, that's how I am. Like, yeah, there certain individuals. Sometimes my mom, she wants to talk, and it's like, I just don't want to talk to you. Like, I'm still trying to process it, and I'm a lot like that. I gotta process it first so that I can come back around and then really explain how I feel, so that therefore when I'm getting the feedback, I'm not like irritated. I'm not like, forget it, you don't get it, or you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's really, for me, it's really frustrating when, like, I'm explaining myself and people don't get it.
Right.
It's just so, it's like, you know what? This is pointless. Like, it's disappointing too. Like, say I'm breaking down. This is why I don't cry in front of people. Only like, we're all like that. We will cry with only certain individuals. But if you cry with the wrong person, or if you are venting to the wrong person and they don't know how to talk to you or say whatever it is that you need to hear, they just make it worse. They make it worse. And then it's so disappointing to see that you are venting to someone and they don't know how to help you. Like, to me, that's disappointing. So,
well, not everybody knows how to help anybody or anything like that. When Jizzo showed up at that particular moment, he came as a friend. He didn't come as a therapist. He came as a friend. And me valuing his relationship as he's talking to me, when one side of me is telling me, tell him to shut the fuck up and leave you the fuck alone, the right side of my brain is saying, come on now, chill out, breathe. These are the things you've learned. Chill out, breathe. You know what I'm saying? What is compaction is reciprocal. I think he would have been saying compassion is reciprocal. If it's not only for the giver. If the potential receiver is not willing to receive it, they got to eat the cost. Exactly. Being said, if I'm not willing to talk to you, it doesn't matter what the fuck you say. You got to eat that. Because I don't have to talk to you. Just like I was saying.
And you might come with the best intentions, pure intentions. Yeah. And I'm sure he knows that, you know, but as long as you do your part.
What's your part though if he jumps off a bridge? What's your part? That's not sure, but what's your part? No, I'm taking it all the way. What's your part if he jumps off a fucking bridge? Should I just been like, nah, he said he was cool. He told me to shut up.
But you ain't
he told me to shut up and that he had it all taken care of. Nah, bro, it doesn't work that way. Everybody's situation is specific. And if you know somebody and you love them, if you know Annabelle and you love her and she's talking some fucking crazy shit, then you know to holler at Annabelle a certain way. If I know he's talking some shit, I know how to handle that situation and talk to him.
But you're not in charge of me talking about it. You're not in charge of me opening up.
In the end, nobody's in charge.
Okay, so this is what we're talking about.
I could come talk to you. You could still jump off the bridge.
Yeah, like the point exactly. So you just answered the shit for yourself. But that being said, this is the whole thing about being emotionally unavailable.
It depends on the situation too, though.
Yeah, but this is the point about being emotionally unavailable. Now, if you're learning the tools, bro, if you're learning the tools of how to coping mechanisms, how to cope with yourself being emotionally unavailable, because not all of us know that we're being emotionally unavailable. And a lot of us understand what the fuck that actually means and what the fuck how that
Have you been emotionally unavailable recently?
Shit, yeah. The other fucking day. What are you fucking kidding me? The other day I didn't want to talk to nobody. And everybody in this house, I was just like, mom's the word. I wasn't, are you okay? I'll be fine. Leave me alone. I don't want to, and then even after I say shit like that, I know it's not right for me to say it. And I've got to process it. So I walk away because I'm going to fuck around and say something fucked up that I don't mean. So I walk away and I process it. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man.
And sometimes what you got to do is just tell the person like, hey, I don't want to talk right now. Right. So don't and maybe that's something to learn for you as well, too. Like, if you are checked out, cool. But at least let me know or acknowledge that you saw my text and it's like, I just don't want to talk right now, or I'll hit you back up. you know, that's another, that's growing.
Right. But even still within the being checked out emotionally, like I think before we get all the way off the rails or anything, I think it's important for, first of all, having understanding of what it is to be emotionally unavailable, and also to how to cope with that and deal with that, because there are going to be the jizzos in your life and the mom and the dad that truly care about you and are concerned with your well-being. So coping with, like, what they're saying, and them trying to help you, and being able to open up and understand what it is that's making you be that way. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be something that happened to me in the day that triggered some other shit that I wasn't even aware of. Some shit from because I stopped drinking and everything. So like, even with any alcohol abuse and shit like that, what you're really doing is masking shit, right? And so now that I'm not drinking or anything, and I've never done any drugs, the quitting the drinking was easy. The hardest part is dealing with all that other shit.
What's coming after?
What's coming after that
sure.
shit? Because now I don't have anything to fucking drink and forget about it. So now I got all this shit going on. So if something happens during the day that triggers some shit that happened to me 30, 40 years ago, or whatever the fucking case may be, because it takes a minute to even figure out, what the fuck am I even mad for? What the fuck am I upset for? Why in the fuck am I not talking to everybody? Because that shit bothers me, to not talk to people and to not relay and have relationships with people that I care about. It fucks with me not to not converse with them. It fucks with me when Jizzle calls and I'm in a space where I don't want to talk to his ass, but yet I have to, not because I hate you or anything. It's because I'm right in that moment. I'm in something. What I'm saying, I'm in something in my mind that I need to fucking clear the fuck out. You know
Can we talk about the other end of this though? We haven't spoke about the other end of this, and
which is what?
You see, even you're like, which is what? Like, there's no other end. What you think? Do you think there's no other end of this?
I said, which is what? That is
legitimate. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm about to tell you. Okay. It's the other end of the people that love you that have to deal with this.
We did talk about it.
They don't have to just accept because you decide right now to be like this.
I got up
they don't
right
have
now,
to accept that because you just did it.
If I got up right now,
I'm not gonna get the fuck out of here. I'm not. You're not gonna say that to me.
Okay.
I'm posing a real question. It's not get the fuck out of here because that's dismissive attitude that doesn't allow shit to get helped.
Right.
No, I'm serious, bro. That get the fuck out of here attitude. Who says that to people that they're trying to build with? Get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm saying
it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. It does not work.
It doesn't matter.
Like, when you
it doesn't work that way. Get the fuck out of here. It's not a statement that works in mental health. You cannot build mental health like that. No, you can't. You can't.
I hear you.
D-Nick, can you build mental health with telling people get the fuck out of here when they tell you shit? No, you cannot.
I was telling you.
You're not going to get off with that comment, bro. You're not.
All right, Jizzle, you're right.
You're not going to get off with that comment, dog.
You're right.
You can't just say that to people and people need to shut the fuck up.
No,
that's not the way it goes.
Okay.
You need to confront shit. So there's no get the fuck out of here. Let's confront the question.
Okay. Now, can I confront the question?
No, don't get the fuck out of here, nothing.
I said you're right. You're right. Stop already.
No, I just don't like that. You like to say, get the fuck out of here, the shit that you don't want to talk about.
I didn't say I didn't want to talk about it. I said, get the fuck out of here for the simple fact that you make a statement about somebody else. Again, we're back to this other shit where you, for some reason, when you talked and said that the other person's got to eat the cost, that they don't.
You don't want to talk about that part.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You told me get the fuck out of here when I mentioned this.
Get the fuck out of here by saying.
You don't want to talk about it.
No, but I said get the fuck out of here by saying.
That's a valid part. We're talking about the other person that's not us.
I think I don't even know what.
What the fuck, dude?
Come on, guys.
No. I'm not saying any of it is invalid, bro. Where are you coming from?
Yeah, but get the fuck out of here means it's invalid. Get the fuck out of here
means that.
That means you don't want to learn and listen. Right. That's what that means.
Okay.
What else does get the fuck out of here mean?
Okay, well,
if you tell me something, I say get the fuck out of here. That means I don't want to learn and listen what you're talking about.
No, I was responding responding to how you said it. I was responding to that, and you said in your own words about eating the cost. This is why I said get the fuck out of here, because if I don't want to talk, I am not obligated to talk. And so when I said get the fuck out of here, I was also
You
saying
owe it to people that you hurt to talk about
I
it.
don't
Yes,
owe
you do.
anybody shit.
Yes, you do.
Okay, if you say so,
If you
bro.
hurt somebody, you owe it to them to talk about
okay,
it.
and
Annabelle,
again,
do you agree with
again,
that? If someone
again,
hurts you, they owe you to talk about it.
Again, like
Hold
I
on,
said,
I'm
when
asking Annabelle
processing-
something.
when
I'm asking.
processing-
Hold
when
on,
processing-
I'm asking Annabelle.
Jesus Christ.
Annabelle, do you feel that if someone hurts you, they need to talk about it with you?
Yes. Oh, it
There
depends
you
how
go.
they hurt me. How? Like, but I'm also, I think, like I said, because I've been there before, if I know I can read people, like I'm pretty good, you know. So it's like if I know you're going through something and you respond to me in like a bogus way or rude, disrespectful, I'm mature enough to be like to not take it to heart because it's like I know they're going through something. Again, give them space, check in with them the next day. Like if it's someone that you're real close with, it's like, hey, look, I'ma bother you every day until you fucking write back to me, until you say something to me, until you something, right? But yeah.
So you do feel that people do need to talk about whatever it is they hurt you about. And
If
then what if
someone
that person
hurts
told you
me-
get the fuck out of here? That's what I'm saying. Like you can't say get the fuck out of here to people, dog. That's not part of this show. D-Nick, you're listening
Yes,
to this
sir.
show right now.
I'm
Do you
listening.
feel
I've been
that
watching
a
the show.
response?
It's
Do you
getting-
feel
it's
that
getting
D-Nick,
heavy.
D-Nick, do you feel
Yes.
that a get the fuck out of here response is appropriate in learning to cope with other people's shit? Like, get the fuck out of here. What is that? Like, you can't learn like that, dog.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna speak about it as a counselor, as a professional licensed counselor. Is it appropriate? Nothing is appropriate for that stuff, and that may not be a proper answer, but like I have to be prepared for as a counselor. I'm speaking as a counselor. I have to be prepared for every possible reaction that you know they like give and send away, and it's what I will say that's not appropriate is not appropriate for you, like for the one that has been told to get the fuck out of here to allow themselves to feel like that's okay. You don't have to feel like that's okay, you know. And so like I always like with clients and stuff like that, I'm always pushing self. Even and I do group sessions, and so it's always about self. It always self. You have a responsibility to protect yourself from energy transference. You asked the question earlier about like, so if they jump off the bridge, am I supposed to let them do that? No, you're not supposed to let them do that. However, it's not your responsibility to feel like as effective, like you're responsible for them throwing their life away. That's not your responsibility. You did
Right.
what you thought was right to stop them. And if they jump off the bridge, that is ultimately their decision. And you have to develop, as the giver, you have to develop the understanding, like, you know what? This is not my fault and my responsibility. A lot of people tend, to try to put that on like the compassionate giver, the person that's trying to like lead their loved one to the right way, and they have a different because you were talking about like what about the other side of it? The other so like to talk about the other side of it, you have a responsibility to protect you. Fuck them. We love them, but fuck them. Like you have to protect you ultimately in the situation. Whether they're emotional mature enough to handle it, to talk to you, to meet it, like hit it like right on the nose, or not, you have to protect you. And for them, you just got to be a bird in their ear whenever it's time. And it's like, you know what? Love you.
Mhm.
You're loved, know I love you, and like keep it moving until you are mature enough to handle and have a conversation about you acting out of pocket, if you're acting out of pocket. Because it's not fair. It's not fair for you to try to help someone if they're not trying to be helped. It is responsible to be like, well, and to ask questions. Not even deter them. You just like I never give anyone answers. I never give anyone answers. I ask them questions all the time, relentlessly. If they don't want to answer, they don't want to answer for a reason. You
Right.
know, that's why they don't like to talk to a counselor or therapist or whoever. You get what I'm saying? You know, and you know, I would always say it's starting to protect you. Like I have suicidal kids that I work with. I'm not in charge of their life. You know what I'm saying? And I can passionately feel for them. But like, man, that's not fair to my family if I bring that home. That's not fair to me. And then that's not fair to the other clients because I gotta go to work and do this all over again with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always, say you gotta protect yourself too.
What
That's
do you
the
tell them when
importance
they
of the
tell
gift.
you to get the fuck out of here?
What are they doing? They tell me to get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here?
no, seriously, because you're dealing with teenagers
Yeah,
that are
yeah,
telling you
yeah.
you're full of shit. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do you?
They do all I ask questions depending on the
He
what
doesn't take it to
brought on
heart
to
when
get
they
the fuck.
say get the fuck out of here, because I think he understands that they're whatever they're talking about or feeling or
Well, I'm
reacting.
human. I'm human. I could get mad, but I check myself, I collect
Right.
myself, and I try to practice. I ask him a question, and I'm like, really? That's how you feel? Like, you want me to get the fuck out of here? I'll ask him. Like, I'm like I warranted that type of reaction. I
Mm-hmm.
asked him,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna answer, and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna check themselves. I've
Mm-hmm.
had people like, man, get the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck about you, bitch ass motherfucker.
Yep.
I'm like, man, you think that's like that I warranted that? Like,
Not
wow, that hurts.
warranted. Yep.
I
Okay.
warranted, and then I'm gonna ask them you thought
Yeah.
that was fair?
Let's be
You thought that was
clear.
fair
Yeah.
to
Let's
me?
be clear. I
And
wasn't
then
telling
Yeah.
Jizzo to get the fuck out of here. I was responding to what he said about it being emotionally checked in or checked out, and I was responding to him by saying by him saying the person
no, but
eating the cost.
that's a genuine question. He
Yeah,
asked he
yeah, but I
asked
wasn't.
me,
No, but
what do
I was
you do
responding to him
Exactly.
when
saying,
when
"Wait,
when
bro, I'm talking right
clients
now. Let me
say
finish saying
the
what I'm
fuck
saying, and
out of
then you can
here?
say,
No, I'm just tapping in
okay,
as we're
yeah,
talking.
okay."
Keep
But
going.
when you
Yeah.
say when you make a statement like you did, when you made a statement saying that whatever that side over here is, like if I'm emotionally checked out, that I have to do this shit or I have to be whatever with you. I was saying get the fuck out
You
of here
thought
to
that was
that.
well? Let me ask the question though. You thought that was warranted to say get the fuck out of
No, I
here
mean it
Yeah.
was.
and
Please,
huh?
he asked me the question, sir. What?
No, I'm
It was no,
asking
no,
you.
no,
I'm
no, no,
asking
no.
you.
I'm
Well,
saying
I'm asking you. Did you think that was warranted?
no. I think it was a knee jerk reaction, but because I wasn't.
So you thought you
He
don't believe that was a right? Even it's a knee jerk reaction. We
But
know
it was
that. But do
no.
you
It
do you
was
think
it
that was
was
right?
it was it was it was the it wasn't the right thing for me to say, but it was a knee
Okay.
jerk reaction. And on top of that, let's be very clear, Jizzo. I was not
Well,
telling you to
but
get the fuck out of
undoes
here. I wasn't
the
telling
the
you to
the
get the fuck out
previous
of here.
sentence. Let's start point by point.
Yeah,
Like, so it
what
was
the
a knee
perfect
jerk
sentence, what I
reaction.
should have said,
You
and
think
what I
that the
was
knee jerk
right.
reaction was
Um,
warranted and right,
right.
or no?
No, it
You
wasn't
don't think
warranted.
it was?
It was no, not at all.
Okay,
But I
okay,
wasn't attacking him
okay.
like he
yeah, he was
assumed.
just responding.
I was
I think he just
responding
Is
didn't
to
there?
what
Wait,
he
know
had
wait, wait,
said.
wait.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah,
One question at a time. One
yeah.
question at a time.
So
Do you just you? Is there another way that
yeah, I was
you
just
think you
what I
can
was
handle that?
absolutely, and that's what I was trying to do when he wouldn't. I'm not even gonna say shut
But
up. When
you failed to do that.
yeah, I didn't fail to do it. He wouldn't allow me to do it because he kept saying,
Well, wait. I don't think he is. He's in control of your reactions, or you
no, but if
didn't
he's
Yeah.
talking,
like when you
no,
say
no,
he
no,
didn't
no,
allow you to
absolutely
do
not,
it.
absolutely not.
What
Not at
happened?
But I
all.
have to again. You see, I had pushed the mic out the way because I have to check out of that because I'm not going to get involved when he won't allow me to answer and be very specific. Yes, I knew, like right after I said it, it was the wrong thing to say. That's clear, and I said that as he kept on nagging at it. I kept saying, "Okay, bro, you're right." You're right, but that's not what I was saying. Get the fuck out of here, too. I wasn't saying that any part of that shit was like you're crazy or you're this and you're that.
it was an emotion,
It-
kind of like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
yeah, it was. It was
All
like
right, now pause
yeah,
real quick. Just for the general Jizzo, like, cause Jizzo, you asked the question about like helping loved ones. this is what I do when because people try to deflect and justify. And you can justify everything in the world, but you gotta go narrow and be like specificity. Do you think that was cool? You know,
Uh, uh,
and the admission is the acknowledgement. No, that wasn't cool. But no, not but. We'll wait. Like, do you think that was cool? You
no, I
know,
don't think that was cool.
like he answered that. He answered that was not cool. You know, and then like so now we can de-escalate and
Right.
calm things down because he acknowledged that he was wrong and out of pocket, and this is just a knee-jerk me reaction, which is another
and
verbiage
and
for
and I and
emotion.
I can also like comment on why I think it wasn't cool. And the only reason why I think it wasn't cool is because we use this show to learn, to build, and come up with solutions and tools. So if we're talking, and I know he is pulling his hat back right now, but if we're talking and we're trying to build, and your response is get the fuck out of here, we can't build and learn off of
Well,
that. Can you
well,
learn and
no,
build off of
I
that?
disagree with that, Gizzo. And here's why I disagree with it. If you call it the check-in, which is a clinical term that like those of us on that side of the field got to do that, then it is responsible for everybody to process in real times, good, bad, or ugly. So he's not wrong. Like what he like, none of it is wrong. Is I don't speak in right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that happens. People say no, I won't say crazy. People say emotional knee jerk things to me all the time, and then I'm not moved by it, and I'm like, dang, that's how you feel. Like I deserve that, huh? And then most people genuinely are good people, and they'll just be
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, I was just. No, man, you just came at me. No, I came at you disrespectful. Well, no, but I just, and I'm like, so well, why'd you talk to me like that? I'm asking questions, and I want you to figure out and like to show your good God given common sense, like I was just doing with Heat, and he realized, and he said it. He said it. He may not have said it necessarily nice at off the rip, but he did admit like it was a knee jerk reaction. I didn't feel like I was being heard. I didn't feel like any of that. So I'm paraphrasing. He's like, like I felt like in the whole scenario was disrespected. And the thing that's really important about like this show, and I mean, I'm just a commentator, but as someone who does this and looks at the show and commends all of you brothers for putting something like this together and doing it in transparency, like the process is important and it's not gonna always be nice. So you gotta, well, part of it is to see, part of it is you're gonna see Heat flip out, and get mad and react and process, like, cause that's a win, cause he just atoned. He just atoned. So you got to take your wins. You're not out of line, Giz. You're not out of line. Like you might, people can question the way that you handle it, but you're not out of line. Where you're like, no, man, I'm not gonna get the fuck out of here, all of this type of stuff. Like to me, like it's about processing it in real time on display. To me,
And
which
I
is
will
what
say this,
you are doing with your lovely guests.
and and,
Like everybody's doing that.
and I will say this. In that moment, and I'm not trying to poke the finger at you or anything, but in that moment, right after I said it, I was very, it like instantly processed to me. Okay, but as I was telling you that that's not what I meant. You, I was atoning it as it was happening. I was doing my best to, but he was over speaking, kept saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I kept saying, I get it, I know, I know, I know. But at a point, it's like, okay, so I'm not going to even engage in it anymore because he's clearly not hearing me because I was atoning to the shit beforehand. Before you popped in, I saw you pop in before he brought you in. You know what I'm saying? But I was doing my best at that moment to get him to understand that's not what I meant, and it was a completely a different way I
Well,
could have said it. But also, it's not what I meant. I don't, man. And I kept telling him, man, I love you,
Well,
bro. I'm not.
what you meant and what you said, do you feel like there was a conflict in that?
Oh, do I feel like there was?
For you, like,
I felt,
what you
yeah,
meant and what you
I
said.
felt like he was being
Because Giz ain't a mind reader.
right. No,
So
no, no, no. I felt like he was being combative with me towards it. Yeah, and I think he was really trying to get his point across about how he felt about it, and I get that. But at the same time, if I feel like I'm being misread and things aren't, that's not what I mean, and you're still going and going and going, and I'm clearly trying to say this is not what I mean. Again, this goes back to what I was saying about checking out and shit. I'm still in this whole fucking journey of learning how to process things as they happen in real time. You know what I'm saying? Because
okay,
the old
then
me
then
would have
let's then
been
let's
the
do that.
old me.
Then in the future
Yeah.
and figure it out. So, if you feel like he wasn't hearing you and you were checking out, like, do you acknowledge that he felt like he wasn't being heard,
One
and
hundred
and he's
percent.
trying to get his point across
One
in the
hundred
same
percent.
realm?
100%. The only
Okay,
it would
so
only
then what would be a better way to process that in real time? Like, let him be heard, let you be heard, and and you figure it out. No right or wrong answers,
yeah.
just figure it out.
Well,
So
I mean, that's why, like, after a minute, man, I just kind of just threw the mic to the side because I know that we had gotten into the same kind of thing before, and it's like I had to check myself after the show. I thought it was like fucking ridiculous, but I understand how he feels about if I say get the fuck out of here. But when you make that statement, I get it. I acknowledge my part in it. But at the same time, then he said something like, well, "This show is about building. You're not trying to build." What the fuck does that mean? Like, I don't know.
whoa,
Well, I'll say this. Let me speak. Let me
that's
say
not here
something real
yet. Hold
quick.
on, Giz, hold on. Like, cause we're processing in
Yeah.
real time. I gotta go to work in the morning, so this is what we do. I'm gonna get to you, Giz. I promise. I promise. For you, you know, like, when he says that, what do you think he means when he says that?
Well, he said it. He says I'm being negative and I'm not trying to help people and
No, no, no. He said this show is about
helping people and
processing,
that's
and
not helping people and whatever. I don't exactly remember
I said
exactly.
fuck out of here
so
doesn't help people. That's what I
That's not
said.
what
I
you said.
said fuck out of
Okay.
here doesn't
okay,
help people.
meaning like, it's not for him. I don't mean to speak for him, but my interpretation, Gizzo, you'll tell me if I'm wrong. My interpretation is he's like, yo, we can't be dismissive of, like, these emotions, these feelings, and these scenarios, because if this is to help people, then being dismissive is anti doing that. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Right.
And I
So
get
so
that.
then he
Yeah.
so then it's like, the dilemma is, how do we process things in real time when we are upset or we don't feel like we're being heard and you don't feel like you're being heard? How do you not dismiss it? What is the practice that you can do to, like, avoid that? You don't got to answer right away. You don't got to answer right now, but this is a thing that you got to figure out, you know,
Are you
and
asking
and
that to
like
both of us or are you asking it to just one are you
Well, you could ask it to me. If you're asking it to me,
like
I
so
would.
so good. Like, what, like, well, you got a different dilemma than he. Because your dilemma is like, I want to help you right now. He's dilemma is being dismissive of things being challenged. Your dilemma is like, no, don't dismiss that. Like, and for you, you got to understand, man, some people are not ready and not willing, and it's not a reflection on you, because at the core, from my observation, is like, well, if I don't help you now, that's a reflection on me. That's a reflection on me. Like, I'm not being a good friend. I'm not being a good brother, because I'm finna let, like, this joker be in the wilderness, like, just hurting himself on some dumb shit, and that's not responsible. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
what I would challenge you, Giz, is like, yo, man, you are being responsible, it is not your responsibility to always guide. And that feels selfish. And I know that sounds selfish, but like you gotta protect yourself, brother. You gotta protect yourself,
Yeah, yeah,
and while being compassionate.
yeah, for sure, bro. I agree with that part of y'all discussion about making sure that you're right within yourself before you go out into the world to deal with things. Um, the reason that I feel the way that I feel is because this show is based on helping others and creating solutions. So when me and Heat come in, and I told Annabelle before we started, I said, me and Heat sometimes we clash on this show, and D Nick comes in the middle and will like uh soften delegate what's going on. And I do feel like that. I do feel that I do. So
I'm sorry, that was funny. That was
hey,
funny.
but yeah, I do feel like this show is a responsibility for us to kind of see both sides and things like that. And so when we do have these issues where we clash, you see what I'm saying? Like even those noises, like
because I'm not.
you see
When you
what
when
I'm
you make
saying? Like
no, but
you
bro,
can't even hold that while I talk. You're
because
unable to hold that while I talk.
Just let him give.
yeah,
Let him.
because I'm not fucking being dismissive of helping anybody. I'm not being any of that shit.
When you say get the fuck out of here,
See, here we go again.
Listen,
Here we
you
go
took
again.
it
it
the
dismisses
wrong.
everything.
You took it the wrong way.
Giz,
And
this
if
is
you
a-
really
this is a
want to
test
be
to
for
you.
real, you guys
This is
have
a
been.
test to
If
you.
you guys clash, then how are you really helping anyone? Because you guys are going back and forth this whole time, back and forth. We haven't really
I
even
don't
talked about
jack
emotional
that statement
unavailability.
because I think processing in real time is helping.
Right.
So I don't
But I think
really
you did do
accept.
a good job
I don't
in
receive
putting the
that.
mic to the side because that's what you can do for the moment. That's what you were able to do to just be like, let me take a step back. And I think that was great, honestly.
Yeah.
That was the best that you could do at the moment being on a live show. You just put the mic to the side and I mean, we could have just gone forward after that, but
Yeah.
But
No.
I want to point that out and don't be mad, but a lot of
Yes.
times I gotta
Well,
step back too.
I'll tell you,
'Cause you
brother.
make it worse.
Like the groans, the amount, the all of that stuff. Like that's part of the process and of like helping people is example. It being an example of how to deal with that even in real time. If he's groaning and he doesn't like what you're saying, like if you're talking about helping people, nobody ever likes the process, but it is a process and we got to learn how to endure. For Heat, like your intentions, like no one is questioning your intentions. And we're talking about the way it's perceived and like ways look. And so if you're like your intentions, man, you're not like you don't have no intentions to be dismissive of anybody's feeling, but
Not
it's
at all.
perceived that way. If it gets perceived that way, whether that's a misunderstanding or not, that's how like it's perceived, and you're challenging that. And as far as about being solutions, the ultimate solution is about processing in real time. Like no one has like me as a counselor, I don't have a quick fix on nothing. That's why like I ask the questions and I like coach young people through it. And they say crazy stuff and then they'll come I say crazy like like vernacularly and all that stuff. But usually, more times than not, I won't even say usually. All the time, they always, if they say something wild to me, they always come back and apologize. And I'm always like, man, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Like,
Yeah.
you just showed me something.
Mm-hmm.
You just took accountability, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the process. Like we get. I've had people fight in my sessions, and we talk about like physically fighting, and they like, man, I just was was this and was that and da da. And I'm with young men. I'm with boys, man. You know what I'm saying? And they feel away. And boys talking about their emotions. Yo, this shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gets intense. But that's part of it. I would challenge you on that, Gizzo, that part of the show and the solutions are the process
Right.
and watching people see it in real time, even when it's ugly.
Right.
Even when it's ugly, when people don't like, and when you hold people feet to the fire and accountable, they can't wiggle unless they're gonna lie, and
Right.
nobody on here is a liar.
Mhm.
So if like that's why I asked Heat. It's like, I asked him questions. And then, he'll try to negate and defend, but I'm asking the questions where it's like, I see it, whether you admit it or not, I see it in the eyes where he's like, damn. No, period, new sentence. Fuck the but.
Right.
Period, new sentence. What's what is it?
No, I get it. And this kind of like,
and they atone.
This kind of goes back to the emotional unavailability, right? So when we were talking and I was saying like I'm still learning all of this shit. I'm not no fucking pro at it. And I have my moments and shit like that. But even like when I was having a real fucked up time and and using some of these tools that I'm learning, like when I was telling Jizzle, like when you're talking to me, I was processing that at that moment. And one part of my brain is saying, no, I ain't finna say shit. And the other part of my brain is saying, no, don't do him like that. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And I'm processing all of it. And then I make the decision if I want to say something or not, or engage you in the conversation or do whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm learning all of these things as we're going and as it's happening. Never once am I going to be dismissive to someone, but again, intentionally, yeah.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
You may be
never.
dismissive
Unintentionally. But
because Gizzo, I don't want to speak for my brother, but he felt like you were dismissive when you were groaning and all of that stuff.
Yeah. But because not
so,
no but
that
new
was
sentence.
unintentional.
No,
so
it
you
was
got
unintentional.
for that. That was unintentionally
Right.
dismissive.
Right. No, absolutely.
Do you agree? You agree that
I said
okay.
absolutely, yeah.
Is it unintentional?
Okay. I'm sorry, Giz, I didn't hear you.
Question now.
No, I was just saying, like, was it unintentional?
I would say from my perception, I would say it wasn't at the front of his mind. It was just muscle memory, and so I would say yeah, because I don't think he realized that was unintentional. He just did,
And as I was
and
speaking to someone earlier,
you got it, and it's a practice, bro.
Yeah.
It's a practice. So you kind of got to meet where people are, and it's just like, and that's why you got to let certain stuff go while we're processing.
Yeah.
You can call it out later,
Yeah.
or you can even call it out in real time. Like, hey man, when you was groaning and fixing your hat and all that stuff, man, I felt the way about that, man. I felt like you was being real dismissive of the shit that I was kicking down.
Right.
And then like, do you think that it was? And then he's either gonna lie or he's gonna tell the truth.
Right.
And when I asked him, do you think like that? Because that was dismissive. Doing all that stuff, I'm gonna call it. That was dismissive. And he just like, and he just sit there. Yeah, it was. You know what I'm saying?
No, but even when I pulled back away from
goes.
after I grunted and moaned, because now I'm like in my head, I'm like, "Fuck, what'd you do that for?" And then he starts saying something about it because my reaction.
No, we'll stay with where when you was grunting and moaning, and then
no.
We know the reasons. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But can you sit with it? Can you sit
I'm
with the
sitting
fact
with
like
it.
I was doing this?
Yeah, I'm sitting with it now.
Fuck what he did to trigger me.
Yeah.
Can I sit with the fact that damn, I shouldn't have did that?
I'm sitting with it. I just said.
Now, so now I would ask you, like, what brought you to that point?
Really feeling like he that what I was saying was taken out of context, because never once do I feel like this show is not like, oh, we're fucking sitting here like fucking off the show or anything like that.
Do you think he was okay, I'm explaining how he took it out of context. I want to hear you from
when he makes a statement like I'm doing this and we're supposed to be helping people. Like, I've never, not once, even through all of this whole tiff that was going on.
Do you think that he thought that he said that you didn't want to help people? Did he say that out of his mouth?
Yeah.
When?
He said it.
Yeah, he said it.
I really just think it was a misunderstanding that got like out of proportion.
Yeah.
Honestly,
What I said,
Well,
what I
let's stick
said
with
was, is this is
specifics.
the
Let's stick with
opposite of what
specifics.
we
When
do
did
on the
he
show.
say that, and what did he say?
I said this is
Just
the
I wanted.
opposite of what we do on the show. That's what I said. This isn't what we do on the show. That's what I said.
Okay, you said this isn't what we do on the show, and you interpreted that as you fill me in. You interpreted that as we don't like what we like. I'm not.
that we
I don't
don't that they're
care about.
yeah that
I'm
they're
not
not
interpreting
helping.
shit. I know what the hell I heard. I don't have to
All right,
interpret when somebody says
what
that
is
I
the
don't give a
context of
fuck.
what he said?
I
Like,
don't
we
have to.
don't do that on the
I'm
show.
saying,
And he was referring to being dismissed. What was
yeah.
what? How was it interpreted? I'm slow, so how was it interpreted? What was the context?
Context was in which they're like I'm being dismissive of other people and I'm over here trying to challenge some shit when I wasn't. I wasn't.
Yeah, like I feel
Okay,
like
so
he got misunderstood. He took it another way, and then he's feeling now like, damn. Well, now he's saying something that's not.
Yeah.
It was just all a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I mean, fuck out of here sounds only one way to me.
Stay with the specifics.
That only sounds, yeah, fuck out of here sounds only one way to me. That's the only thing we're talking about in this whole conversation was that comment.
Cool, okay.
And that sounds a certain way. I'm from the hood. I know what fuck out of here means.
I want to ask Heath though. So when he said that, like, we have, like we have I'm paraphrasing, but like a responsibility to not be dismissive. You like, because I'm trying to hear how you interpreted the context. You took that as you don't care about the listenership, or like.
No, he said that. I'm not interpreting anything. He said that. And my whole thing was
I heard that he just said like we don't do the show for this.
Nah, man. He said it. Man, we'll go back and watch it, like whatever. But I know, I know what I heard him say, and even in the beginning of all of it,
that was
yeah, and so like even with me grunting and moaning was like never. Even me grunting and moaning was like I wanted to say something, but it's like okay, let him finish talking, whatever, because never once did I even imply any of that stuff. Now, if get the fuck out of here means that to you, I apologize. And I even said it after I said that. Like, I apologize because that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean.
Gizzo, could you tell me what you said that made him feel that it implied that, you didn't give a fuck about the listenership?
I mean, we'll you know what? Instead of stay stuck on this, man, we'll probably move on because I know.
No, we're going to stay right here in the moment, bro.
All right. If you want to stay here, we can stay here in the moment.
Yeah, stay in the moment.
What was your question again, D-Nick? Sorry.
What did he say? Because he said that like it takes like to context, like took what he said out of context, and your response was, we don't do this show.
The only reason I say we don't. Okay, so we say that the check-in is a safe place where people could come, judgment free. I mean, you're gonna hear things that you don't want to hear, but it's a safe zone. We give a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. So when we're talking about issues and we're delving into things that might take different routes, and one of those people in that route says "fuck out of here," that was the stop for me.
And what did you say in response to that? You said like
I said it's not fuck out of here. We need to talk about it. It's not fuck out of here. Someone needs to hear my opinion and yours and be like, oh shit, I think like he or I think like Gizzo. And get a resolution from it. So that's why I said when we just say fuck out of here, that's why I felt like that wasn't a good enough response, because that's not what we do on the show. I don't think that I feel like we go more thorough on the show. We give descriptions, we give tools, we give solutions. We do a lot more on the show than to just say to each other, fuck out of here. And I know he's saying it was from a certain place that he said it from. And that wasn't what he.
We won't justify it. Like we know his context, and like he admitted, he said it was a knee-jerk reaction and all that stuff.
But that's why I felt like that, because I feel like this shit for me, it's just like, and when he said that, it felt like that wasn't towards the goal of the show. It felt like when he said "fuck out of here," it wasn't towards the like people growing goal. It didn't feel like that.
So he felt like that was off goal. I felt like I was off brand.
Yeah,
Okay.
when
You know,
when he
like
said when he said that
right.
what he said, it felt like he was off the goal of people learning. It like the fuck out
I
of here was
will
just
I
like
will
I'm really
challenge you.
dismissive.
I like again ultimate. I'll challenge you, Gizzo, that the goal of the goal of processing and like all of this is part of the goal. Like and like even the fights, the bumping the heads, you brothers that like have love for each other, like, and then you have this riff and this tiff and watching people watching that and watching your process, that is a solution as close as you're gonna get to like something with a bow, because it's important. It's important for people to see like this is what the process looks like.
Yeah.
This is what the process looks like, and it's important to not put judgments not on you, not on he. I'm sorry, sister, I don't know your name.
Annabelle.
Annabelle, not on Annabelle. Blessings, Annabelle. Like it's important for that type of stuff, and this is the goal of the show, and this is how it works. And you are processing in real time is really really important and really really dope. And if you sat in a counseling session, not saying that you haven't, but if you sit in a counseling session, this is especially a group counseling session. This is what that shit looks like.
Hey
Is
Nick,
like straight
Nick,
up. Yeah.
can you answer how this conversation has been um progressive for people dealing with being emotionally unavailable? Can you give like a sum up? Maybe there's people that might just be tuning in right now, but just to go back to our actual topic for the show, about emotionally unavailable. Can you tie all of this in, brother, somehow?
It's easy.
Yeah. Yeah. You when two things are right, and they're going like an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. So when people like go through that, you've seen like on this show, you've seen like two like brothers that are like they had a minor conflict when everybody's intention is good, and it's just like he isn't wasn't like you're talking about. First of all, it was past tenses. I hear it, and you feel like, man, this is what it looks like. Oh man, it's an anger thing, and I make a knee jerk reaction, and I shouldn't have did that, and I misinterpreted. I feel like my context was misinterpreted. I feel like you know your context was misinterpreted and challenged because you just want to help, and then you can be heavy handed. You know what I'm saying? And like the sisters are like in the middle, like, no, just everybody calm down. Like, so it's just like, fuck, I don't want it to be like that while I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And so what people seen, they seen a display of compassion, they seen a display of anger, they've seen a display of processing, they've seen cooler heads prevailing, and they understand like, man, sometimes trying to force like a reaction isn't always the best way. Like just chill out and ask a question. Just chill out and ask a question. So like that's how I would interpret like for like viewers to see that and witness that and be like, yo, like they just really peace. They still brothers. They still brothers with their sister right there. And so everything is peace. Everything is a process, and that's how I interpret a viewer should look at it,
Yeah.
if they're open to receive it. And if they're not open to receive it, that's cool. They'll get it later.
Yeah. And that was like my whole thing in the beginning about everything is like, even in this journey of shit that I'm going through, in I'm having myself personally having to process shit as it's happening. My normal response is not normal anymore, especially to people that I've been around. Uh, good majority of, or if not all my life, my response is not the old response anymore. And even in that, I still have to process it because I still have things that I'm working on that are like the fuck out of here. Like what the fuck are you saying? I mean, like, yo, because
That's savage energy.
huh?
That's savage energy.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
savage
on some real
energy.
shit. Like I grew
So
up with
you gotta replace that with warrior energy.
right. I'm doing everything that I can.
Savage energy is in service of yourself.
Yeah.
Warrior energy is in service of others.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's
you
part of
that looks like.
Part of my road, part of my journey, part of my shit. Yeah. Because in the very beginnings of everything, you know, even when we like shit, when I was drinking, man, like once I checked the fuck out, it was over with. I didn't want to hear shit. And if a motherfucker said something to me, it could get violent. You know what I'm saying? And as I was speaking to someone earlier today about me and things that I'm understanding about myself, you know, that, you know, everything isn't, you know what I mean? And it's all like in practice every day. It's in practice. For me, it's in practice every day. Every day I've got to be mindful and do my best to be mindful of how I say things to people, what I say to people. I'm aware of it. You know what I mean? And it's a process for me. Like when that shit happened in the moment, my immediate response, okay, that's not what I was thinking.
But you know your brother was trying to help you out, right?
Say what?
You know Gibbs was trying to help you out, right?
Whoa.
You know he was trying to...
Now this takes us back to the fucking beginning. I don't say get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm just saying.
No. I get it. I get it.
I asked a specific question.
No, you asked for specific, but in order to get to
for you, right?
in order to get to the
yes or no? Was he was trying to look out for you, right?
No. That's what I'm saying. In order to get to that, no, wait, listen. In order to get to that, we have to start before I even said get the fuck out of here. Because before I said get the fuck out of here, he immediately started yelling at me and telling me what I was thinking about.
My question, I'll ask this question again. Do you know that he was like begin mentally, you know he was trying to look out for you, right?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
And trying to make sure you don't know he was trying to look out for you. I'm not asking if you handle it correctly. I'm asking, are you aware that he was trying to look out for you?
Just said, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, that is, if you want me to, if I'm being 100% honest, no, I don't.
Okay.
Because of my, from what I heard him say.
Was you trying to look out for him?
I was.
Look.
All right.
Okay, let me ask you what you was looking out for. Yeah. Let's be clear about that. Huh? What were you looking out for?
I was looking out for the sanity of the show and our goal in the show. And our goal in the show is to help people out and to have a free space, a free judgment space. So when we say things like that, it makes it feel like it's not a free judgment free zone. It means if I say something you don't like, I need to hear that.
I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah.
I want to just stick at the bare. The thing he is just sticking at the bare root of it. Like if you like in good, bad, or whatever the intention, if his intention was to look out for you, and he could have been totally wrong. I'm just asking about, do you acknowledge that he was trying an attempt? We can speculate about how good that was, but my question is, do you acknowledge that he was trying to look out for you? Like, do you feel that he wasn't, or do you just feel like he just like he was just wasn't hearing you? Because I'll be honest, I don't personally believe in hindsight that you don't think he was trying to look out for you. I'm not telling you. I'm not saying
when I say I don't believe he was looking out for me. What was there to look out for?
Yeah, it was.
I didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. That's why I say I don't believe he was looking. Do you think that he just told you what he was trying to look out for? You know, the show and you and again the way that the ship is steering.
Okay, and so in order to get,
do you think he was trying to look out for
in order to get to that, let's be really clear. In order to get to that, we have to get to before it was fuck out of here. The fuck out of here was because he was already saying that I didn't give a fuck about the show and about people and about shit. So that
was your interpretation of a reaction.
No, it wasn't an interpretation. That's what he said.
Do you think
that's what
he
said?
Was trying to. I'm not telling you your interpretation is wrong. I'm asking you, do you believe that he was not trying to look out for you?
Okay.
Intentionally or unintentionally?
At that particular moment, bro.
It
I'm
doesn't.
not
I
asking
think it
that
kind of
at
makes
that
sense,
moment.
though.
I'm
I
like,
don't
in
think that there
hindsight
was
of what
anything
we've
to look out
already
for.
processed right
Yeah.
now, can you
And
atone
we're
that,
processing right now.
you know,
I'm because I can't get past the very, very first part before I said fuck out of here. Because that hasn't been talked about.
you can't
I
get
just
past
said
that.
I can't. I just said I can't. I
Okay,
wasn't talking about
I'm
anybody
clear.
else.
I'm
Not
being
talking
clear.
about
You
anybody
can't
else.
get past it.
I can't get past it because that right there, what was said, was taken out of context about me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
So my
reason
fuck out
and
of here response was to
justification.
that, like, what? Get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't care.
That's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
Like that. So that's why everything else is kind of like,
I was like,
it's
what?
just adding on to something
And
that
he kept
really
going
wasn't
and going.
there.
Yeah,
so,
and I kept going, and I'm just
and
like,
all
dude.
of this extra stuff is
But
still
all that is reasons and justifications. I'm talking about his intention.
no.
That man just said his
There was
intention
no intention.
was
though.
not
Now
that.
I'm gonna argue
That
with this
no,
guy.
he just said his intention. I can't go for that. He just said his intention was not that.
Because that's
so
what he
I'm
said.
Like, you just heard him.
That's
so
what
it's
he
either
said.
he's lying or you are blocked and can't believe that. Because he just said it. He
just said what?
I'm not putting a judgment on if it was right. I'm not putting a judgment if your perception was right. I'm saying, do you believe, the question specifically was, do you believe that he was looking out for you, that he believed he was looking out for you? You initially said no.
Okay,
and Giz said yes.
I'm
After
going to
everything we went through,
fine.
You know,
and I'm going to tell you. Okay, if we're talking about the get the fuck out of here, no, I don't believe he was. There was any bad shit in there. But we don't get to the get the fuck out of here until we get from the.
I didn't ask if there was any bad shit. I asked, did you believe you're deflecting?
No, bro, I'm trying to. Okay, you're right. If that's the case, but let me say, period, new sentence. How about that?
Okay.
What was said is what I responded to, because it wasn't correct in how I felt.
But that wasn't the question.
No, I'm saying.
I'm actually wait, pause. I'm just pause for a second.
Okay.
In processing this stuff,
I said already yes.
This is what Gizzo was
get the fuck out of here part.
For the get the fuck out of here part. Wrap this up, and this is how we do it. It's not to give anybody easy solutions.
Right.
It's to make sure that you ask questions so people don't wiggle out of it.
Right.
The question is simple,
and I answered it.
And there's justification. It's like, well, when he said this, and I meant this, and no, I asked one question,
and I answered it from the get the fuck out of here. From the get the fuck out of here. From the get the fuck out of here. I believe that his intentions were well. From the get the fuck out of here.
So that's.
So no.
Meaning what? Looking out for you?
That he was trying to look out for what, the show, or for what he said. Yeah, I believe that. I 100% believe that.
But it's like, if we want to be technical, you said that we're allowed to talk about our feelings and all of that. So then why is his not get the fuck out of here valid?
Right.
Let's talk about that really.
Because of the basis of the show. Because of the basis of the show.
I totally get where you're coming from.
This show is
do we now understand?
Forum.
Like, he just meant it
I want to answer your question.
This show is an open forum. That's why. That's specifically why. Because this show is a place where we do not say get the fuck out of here to people. That's why.
Okay, I honestly,
that's why. That's literally why.
think that he just meant it as an expression.
He did,
and then it just got taken.
I agree that he just yelled it out because he's a reactive person. So yeah, he just yelled out "fuck out of here" because that's kind of his. When we're off camera, those are his reactions.
Right, and then let's say though, but let's also clarify. That was an expression, but he did not mean it towards, I don't give a fuck about people in the show, and I don't give a fuck about not helping.
That doesn't matter. That does not matter. That ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China. It's about how Giz took
I think it's honestly white and black. I really think it was a misunderstanding, and that's that. And
that may be true. That may be true, but
really
it's not. That ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea
in
China.
Throughout the whole time, they were just bickering,
and that's how the conflict started. So you have to adjust. You have to assess in the moment what's going on.
And then
like not wiggle out
as
of
that
it.
was
You
happening,
have to
he
ask
did the best
proper
he
questions.
could. He put
And
the mic to the
that's
side.
not a judgment on Heat.
What
It's not a judgment on Heat. It's just you simply ask the questions.
Okay.
Which goes back into the very show. Being emotionally unavailable and all that shit. No, because for real, it's about processing. Let's be clear. Like I said about when Jizzle showed up when I was having a real, like I was going to do some real fucked up shit. And at that moment, it didn't matter to me what Jizzle said because I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. But in that, because I'm going through this shit and processing things, as he's talking to me, I don't want to be a dick to this dude. I don't want to do whatever. I hear what he's saying. Let me process this shit instead of shutting him off and being like completely unavailable and checking all the way the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been moments in this show where I felt like, man, let me just what the fuck? But I'm working on all that shit, and Jizzle's working on things, and we're all working on shit, man. I'm not mad at this man. I told him even when all of it was happening, I love you, brother. I love that dude, man. I told Ill for real today. I said, man, I love the fuck out of Jizzle. I love this dude like a fucking blood brother, and I mean that shit. I don't have any ill will towards him. I don't have any ill will towards anybody. I'm still working on me. I'm not perfect, man. I say shit, I do shit. You know what I mean? But I will reflect on it. I will process it, and I will fucking do better the next time around. But there's no promise I'm not gonna say the fuck out of here. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen tomorrow. I know that I'm working on me, and I'm responsible for me. And if I want to have solid and good foundational relationships with people, I'm gonna do my best to be emotionally available, process information instead of shutting people the fuck out, process it, understand what it is that they're doing with me. If I choose to talk to them, if I choose to make myself emotionally available, then I'll do it. But I have to process that shit. I do, me personally. Because once again, when I talk about that shit, I'm talking about me personally. I ain't speaking for nobody else. I can't. But I know what my journey's like, and I know what it is for me, and I know that me personally, I'm not as reactive as I used to be, but I'm still a very reactive person. I know this.
So you can atone that, like you can pick up what he's putting down when it's like get the fuck 100%. Out of here, like take it somewhere, right?
Yeah, I didn't deny any of that.
Can we?
No, I didn't.
I'm not saying you did. I'm just speaking. You know,
sure. We normally have a thing at the end of the show, Heat, where you ask people like, what's their final opinion on this? Can you pick what's the thing that we're gonna give our final opinion on?
Final opinion is always going to be what it is. Whatever your thoughts are about the whole thing. It could be, everything that just happened live. It could be about being emotionally unavailable. It could be about fucking checking the fuck out. It could be about being misunderstood. No. Everybody does this at the end of the show because I think it is.
I go in the middle.
Yeah. So again,
y'all been doing all the time.
No, wait, hold on. So we're at the end of the show. I know you got to go to work tomorrow. We appreciate you though, for real, for being in here and
thank you,
and helping us work through that. You know what I'm saying? That was dope as fuck. And again, like I said, like after every Sunday, man, I reflect on all of this shit and process everything that's been said and done, on the whole show and everything, because it helps. All of this shit helps. It helps me, helps Jizzle, helps anybody that watches. I believe at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying. But as we always do, last words, and that would be for you, Mr. D. Nick.
Oh, me? Oh,
yes,
I know if Annabelle was going. Okay, yeah. Last words. Man, just take accountability and protect yourself. If you're a giver of compassion and a receiver of compassion, that's reciprocal. Like I said before, it's reciprocal, and it's your responsibility. It's nobody else's responsibility to take care of you. So you got to be able to check whatever type of survivor's guilt that you're holding yourself, holding on to yourself, and just really protect yourself so it doesn't develop into a savior's complex.
Right.
Not everybody's welcome to receive grace. That doesn't mean you don't give it. You just, it's not a reflection of you. So be careful and protect yourself against energy transference, and make sure you're not a refrigerator that nobody goes grocery shopping for.
Yes,
So with
sir.
that, I am out.
Yes, sir. Thank you, D Nick, man. Once
Thank you,
again, man, we
D.
love you. Love you, brother. For real, for real. Thank you for always being on the show. Annabelle, come on now. Last words. What are your thoughts about everything? You don't have to be
I
like,
don't want to go. I don't want to go right now.
Jizzo, last words?
Hold on.
Yeah, I'll go with some last words. That communication is, I've always said, is literally the most important thing. And a lot of the times, the people you're communicating with, you might not be on 50-50 ground, but there's always a way to get to the 50-50 ground as long as the communication is there. So whoever it is, whether we're talking about your significant other, we're talking about your coworker, we're talking about just the homie you chill with at the studio once in a while, communication is key. And as long as y'all both can understand each other, you know that there's so many avenues that you could take. I love you, bro. I respect you, man. We have different views, but I think that for the sake of the viewers and everyone that's watching, you and me always have these interactions, and bro, it helps everybody, man. It doesn't just help us, it helps other people. I still rock with you 100%. And you know, y'all got to see the way we break down things a lot differently. So shout out to y'all, man. Jizzle for Shizzle on Instagram, and I'll leave it with Heat.
No. I always go last, man. Annabelle.
Oh shit, sorry.
I just want to agree. Yeah, what you said, I agree. I mean, I really don't have nothing else. But you guys were both awesome in explaining. Yeah, I really don't have no words.
No, it doesn't have to be about that. Just thoughts. Just your thoughts in general. I mean,
Well, we saw real live how it goes down, and you know how things were processed. And if you are ever like in a heated situation or discussion with someone, you know, it's always a good idea to take a step back and always give not just on not just like your own view, but try to look at everybody else's view. I don't know,
good shit.
but
Good
yeah,
words.
don't take anyone's baggage.
D-Nick?
What he said, yeah, it's you gotta look out for you, and it's not fair. Earlier, way earlier, when he was speaking on the fairness and not taking other people's emotional like the energies or whatever. Earlier, I did want to agree and
Energy
say
transference. Yeah.
earlier I did want to say that yeah, it's not fair to you to like take all that emotional other people's emotions, and at the end of the day it's not fair for you. Like, you got to look out for you as well. Do it for others, but look out for you. And you know, I agree with everything that was said. So
Dope. Well, I'm going to end it by saying, I mean, that was very eloquently put, because even as I'm sitting here processing everything and and listening to D-Nick, listening to Jizzo, listening to you, Annabelle, thank you once again for being on the show tonight. Um, energy transference, all that, fucking being emotionally unavailable. I have said this on the show many times. I am not responsible for anybody else but me. How I choose to deal with it is how I choose to deal with it, and I think that's probably what got really misunderstood here. You know, because I don't have to agree with anybody. I don't have to. I don't owe anybody any type of anything. But if I'm going to be a better person, I need to process these things and be able to talk about them, be able to deal with them the right way, and you know, handle the situation and make atonements. You know what I'm saying? Be accountable and all of that. And that doesn't always happen overnight. You know, so anybody that's listening or watching, know that it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and all of a sudden just be like the greatest person in the world, man. It's a process. Trust me, because I'm a stubborn motherfucker and shit be like all the time. You know what I mean? So it's a process. You know what I'm saying? And Jizzle, man, I love the fuck out of you, brother. Know that.
Love you, bro.
Yeah.
and I do want to say, like, if this could be a reminder for people, like if you're watching, listening, if you are checked out and someone's checking in on you, at least try to be conscious of the fact that other people are checking in on you, and respond back with a text or a call, or if someone keeps blowing you up because they're genuinely worried about you, try to be conscious about the fact that like just be the bigger person and respond, give them a response back so that you're not having other people worried. I know that it could be like some people could be really really checked out, but if you are watching, maybe this could be like a reminder, like, oh, she said, like, let me just write back real quick. I don't know.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
And thank you once again for being on the show. D-Nick, you already know, bro.
Right.
We love you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Jizzo, love you. Ill for real, love you. We love everybody. We are not hating on anybody. We don't dislove or dislike or not love people, man. That's some real shit. It's a process, man, and we working through this fucking journey, man. For real, for real. This has been the check-in. Thanks, D-Nick. Peace. We'll see you next Sunday.
Right.